Hey everybody, welcome again. One more time with Win with Nico's podcast. If you're on a YouTube channel, it's going to be Win with Nico's YouTube channel. And if you're listening to it on a podcast, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and all the other six other podcasts. I don't know all the names, but I'm here with my boy Chris. Chris and I we met back in 2008 in the Department of Juvenile Detention Center in West Palm Beach, Florida. Man, Chris was one of the guys I had to look up to because as a young kid, 20, I was like 23 years old, skinny cat, 160 pound, in the juvenile detention center. Man, I was small. And I got to tell you, man, I don't think I've told you before, but uh, I, I looked up to you and we were like, man, this dude, nobody's doing. He's on point. He's like sharp. Maybe it's the military background that got you in this way, but I'm not gonna give it all the way to all the audience. You know who you are, where you come from. But hey, Chris, welcome. Thank you for being a part of this. I appreciate your time, man, because I know your time is very valuable. Would you introduce yourself and tell the world who you are and what you're about?
Well, you introduced me, like you said. My name is Chris Butler, originally from Philadelphia, PA, also known as Philly. Grew up in the school of hard knocks. You know, started seeing crime and poverty as a child. You know, going to sleep at night, sometimes hungry, knocking on my neighbor's door with a note from my mom saying, "Can she borrow 2 cans of food until next week?" Standing next to drug dealers that opened fire on some of my friends, you know. So I grew up in a very high crime area, but even with my single mom, she raised myself and my two brothers. Education was the key. She always made sure that we had goals, and she always told us that we have to have goals and we got to go to school. She said, in order to be successful, you got to go to school.
All right.
So,
Yep. So awesome, man. Awesome. So childhood, of course, not a lot of us has the best of it, and not the worst of it as well. Now, your mom give you a path, your parents give you a path, and at a certain point, you had to make a decision, right? You had to figure out where to start. So tell us a little bit about how did you start and where did you think at that time you were going?
well, I know once I got into high school, you know, you have all these plans. I'm going to be all these things when I finish high school. I felt like that. I was going to be like 20 different occupations. But as I got into that junior and senior year, you got to put your feet to the pedal at that point. You know,
Yeah.
time is ticking. I started off when I went to University of Maryland Eastern Shore up in Princess Anne, Maryland, and in my first year of college, I became a father. So there was some choices to make,
Yep.
and the choice that I made was to come back to my local community college, and I was working a couple of jobs. And while I was working those couple of jobs, I was like, hey, I got to start building something for my son too. You know, I want to break that cycle. And
Yep.
so what I did was I joined the Army National Guard. I joined the Army National Guard, 211 MP Company out of East Flat Rock, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back from Fort McClellan, Alabama, putting the city guy down in Alabama was different, but
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
came there, I went to my recruiter. I enjoyed it so much. I was like, hey, can you put me on active duty? And within a couple of weeks of graduating, I was in Missouri, then on my way to South Korea.
South Korea. Oh man, I missed it. I missed it. Oh, by the way,
Told you life.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And I told you like, man, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you. All right, now joining the National Guard, and you had a taste for the military life, right? And
Right.
you wanted to go active duty. Now, active duty, South Korea. Did you go to any other countries?
Not in the military. I was very blessed in my career in the Army. When I ended up in South Korea, I ended up becoming the sergeant major's driver for 8th Military Police Brigade, who was, obviously in charge of military and law enforcement operations in all of South Korea.
Okay.
While doing that, I ended up also being the command sergeant major driver for the regimental sergeant major for the military police corps. So I was selected to go into CID. Got on something called the Joint Crime Suppressor Team. To this date, Korean is my second language. So I got into CID. I did a lot of black marketing, counterfeiting investigations, a few death investigations, but more so drug and fraudulent activity. And we ended up getting one of the largest cocaine seizures in the history of South Korea.
Oh man, that's that's a big deal right there, man. Awesome.
I was working with the Air Force, actually. The Office of Special Investigation, I have an Air Force Achievement Medal.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. That's awesome, man. And I remember not to go off topic real quick, when I wanted to join, you had asked me, so why do you want to join? And I'm like, I mean, education and traveling. And you're like, okay, there are two services you need to choose from, Navy or the Air Force. And I'm like, oh, okay. Aren't you in the Army? Yeah, but nah, Navy, Air Force. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Air Force, and here I am today. Anyway, thanks for that advice, though. By the way, thanks for that advice, because I wouldn't be here right now. Sure wouldn't.
I think it's important that we share, in order to, as you become successful yourself, I think is you have to empower other people to be successful.
Exactly.
They say you are who you surround yourself with. I want to be surrounded by successful people. So if I have people that's reaching for success, that's the type of people I want to be surrounded with. So if I have a tool that you can use, let me give it to you. So.
Yeah, that's outstanding. That's awesome. All right. Now, being a father in high school, now you had to make a choice. You made a choice to join the Army National Guard. Then you got a taste of it. Went for active duty. Went to South Korea, and did some great things out there. Some great jobs. And I'm assuming, did you go back to the States? Now, how did you end up in DJJ, Department of Juvenile Justice? For all of you out there who don't know what that is.
Yeah. Well. One thing I felt, I had a very successful career. I've been to 17 countries. I was awarded an award from the Korean government, and as I said, as the Air Force, U.S. Customs back then. So I felt like I was a kid from Philly that, I came from nothing, and here I was succeeding and traveling the world. Mm-hmm. So when I got out the Army, I had relocated down here to Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida. And I was thinking about a career path. First, I was thinking about, I'm going to go be a police officer. But I knew I didn't want to start from the bottom again. I felt my experience was too much to start from the bottom. So I went into the detention center because I wanted to give back. I wanted to actually give back to kids. That was my opportunity to use my experience to teach these kids that, like, hey, there's a better choice than committing crimes. So that's how I ended up there. Then while I was there, I ended up becoming a gang investigator. So.
Really? I didn't know that one. I didn't know that part. Oh, you were out there doing your undercover. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was out here in Florida. That was one of my tasks in DJJ, was to identify suspected gang members. And I think that for some of the youth that I came across, it made an impact on them because I had a very unique power in my hand. And that is that if I identify somebody as a gang member, they could get enhanced criminal penalties. So it was important to try to reach out to these kids while they was in the detention center. I was like, look, this is not the life you want to go down. So
yes,
I enjoyed it.
Yes, and I remember, to add on to this, I remember this morning when we were on the A shift, you were coming on. La-di-da-di, everybody, la-di-da-di, everybody. Everybody's getting up. I remember those. And before we even start the shift, you had probably like a 5-minute type of inspirational, motivational talk with these kids, especially B1. B1, these kids, man, young. I mean, they were pretty young kids.
And wow.
Yeah. It's
young, wild, and no respect. But yeah, you're right. We had, and I don't know if you knew, maybe I didn't discuss it with you, but when I was working at the detention center, I was also going to college at the same time. I was trying to finish college.
Yes, I remember that.
So my goal was to actually, I started developing, like, I wanted to own my own business, but I didn't know what type of business I wanted. I just knew that I wanted to graduate college, leave the detention center, and start my own business.
Yes.
That was my goal.
Yes. Now, yes, and as you audience out there, y'all listening, we're starting from being from mother, parents giving you a path, and being a father in high school, then joining the military, and then ended up working for the state, for the Department of Juvenile Justice. And now you're thinking bigger. Now I can say that you started to have a clear vision for, okay, who you want to be and what you wanted to be, and getting your criminal justice right. If I remember, yes, got your bachelor in criminal justice on while you were working for the state, and then you left.
Yes.
Then the adventure had begun. So tell us a little bit about this.
Well, first, before I tell you the adventure, I just want to say that one thing that I believe in is every job that you have is a stepping stone towards the career that you're going to have. You know, it's towards that success that you're looking for. So while I enjoyed my time at the detention center and got to see a lot of things, each step from being a parent to joining the National Guard to going in the military to working for DJJ, it was all a stepping stone to where I am today. And so after I left, I took a job that I didn't even know existed. I went to work for the state in a different department. I went to work for the Department of Health. I worked in what they call the Unlicensed Activity Unit. So we were non-sworn criminal investigators, and we investigated fake doctors, anybody that was practicing a healthcare profession in the state of Florida without a license.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. Now, how did that go? Just little blurb real quick. How did that go? How was that?
Oh, it went great. I ended up on multiple task force with the DEA, different sheriff departments, local police departments. I did a lot of investigations into helping end the pill mill crisis in Florida. A lot of those investigations. It was nice holding people accountable for hurting others, you know, from fake doctors hurting people, fake nurses, fake dentists, hurting children. One of my cases made international news. They call him the Fix-A-Flat doctor. They said he was using Fix-A-Flat and crazy glue to give people butt injections. He ended up killing one of the victims, and he ended up in prison. So because of my investigation, so I got to hold him accountable for taking the life of another. He left two children without their mother. So it was nice to work an investigation and bring some closure, at least for their children, the victim's children.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't think that some things. I know there are some crazy stuff out there. I know that, but fix a fake crazy glue. Come on, man.
Florida, you know, it's Florida, Burger King, Taco Bell in one, you know.
Jesus Christ. All right. So I'm assuming, is it safe to say that a little interval at that job kind of like sparked you being in the investigation field?
Yes. Well, it's, you know, when I was in CID, when I was in the Criminal Investigation Division of the Army, you know, I loved investigation. I realized that was my path. I wanted to be an investigator. Okay. And when I came back to the States and working with juveniles, like I said, I wanted to give back. But as I, you know, started finishing my degree, I realized that I had to get back in investigations. But I was still trying to find my feet in investigations. What did I want to do? Did I want to go to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement? Did I want to go to the FBI, the Secret Service? Where do I want to go? So I ended up at the Department of Health as an investigator there, and that actually opened up the doors to where I am now.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Amazing, man. Amazing. So far, it looks like everything's been pretty good, right?
It's rough. It's been some tough roads now. It's been a lot of sleeping in different places other than my bed. So
okay. All right. So now, How did you start with EEI, right? EIS.
EEIS, yeah.
There you go.
So EEIS is we're a private EEIS, first of all, it stands for Eagle Eye Investigative Solutions. And basically what happened was I took a leap of faith. When I was working at the Department of Health, I was working with a lot of people in the private sector that had backgrounds like mine. They were from the streets. They were black and brown. They had worked in the military. They worked government jobs, and how much money they was making. And I was like, huh? They're doing the same stuff that we're doing now? So I started opening my ears a little bit.
Yeah.
And true story. This is a true story. A job opening came up for a company called Florida Peninsula Insurance Company, and they were looking for an investigator for insurance for property like homes and commercial buildings and stuff. So the job came up. I read it. I was like, man, that sounds like me. And it was like based right here in West Palm Beach. I was like, oh, I can do that job. But then like a day later, I was like, nah. So I didn't look at it anymore. And then it said that the job announcement was going to end in like 24 hours. I said, forget about it. But 2 days later, I seen it was still posted online. So I was like, okay, this must be a sign. So I applied for the job. I went in there. I was successful in the interview. They hired me. They gave me an offer letter, and I took it back to my wife. And I was like, you're not going to believe this number they just offered me. And I could work from home. So I showed my wife the offer letter, and I was like, okay, this is going to be my leap into coming into the private sector. So I worked for them for a while, did a lot of investigations, saved millions of dollars in fraudulent insurance claims. And while I was working for them, I was still looking at all these vendors and contractors coming into the insurance company. And I was listening to how much they was like, hey, you know, we'll sell you pencils for the next year, and this is our contract amount. And I was starting listening to stuff like that. I was like, why don't I start my own business, and I could be a contractor too. So at that point, I was like, I want to start an investigation school. I want to start my own investigation school and train people how to be investigators. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Unfortunately, things didn't work out with myself and that prior employer, and this is where opportunity is. So while I was working for that prior employer, on Saturdays, I was paying $25 to go to the Small Business Administration. They were offering little classes, you know, how to do your taxes, how to file, how to set up a business plan, how to file a pyramid. So like every Saturday, I wake up, I hurry up, and I drive my 30 minutes over to the building it was being held at, and I'm there for 2 hours, and I'm just taking my notes and listening to whoever's presenting. So I started working on, you know, putting this little project together, launch my own company. Unfortunately, my employer at that time, they were like, oh, well, Chris, we need you to only work for us. And I was like, but I have a dream. And so they was like, well, we're going to have to let you go. So they let me go, and I called my wife, and she's like, what are we going to do? Now, keep in mind, I'm the breadwinner in the house. So I said, no problem. I said, we're going to launch this company. I had no clients. Had no idea how I was going to get any clients.
Yeah.
I said, I'm just going to launch this company.
Go for it.
So I didn't. The first thing I did was, like most people, I signed up with Uber and Lyft, and I became an Uber and Lyft driver. So on the weekends, I was working 12 hours, Uber and Lyft, out there getting that money. However, within 2 weeks of losing my job, I got a phone call. I got a phone call saying, hey, this is such and such in the industry. I heard that you lost your job. I was wondering if you or your company is interested in an opportunity to do some investigations for us. So I signed a contract within 2 weeks of losing my job for my first six-figure contract as a company.
That's what I'm talking
within 2
about.
weeks. So from there, we just started growing. Right now, we do work for small companies, large corporations. We do some for celebrities, sports teams. And right now, the total assets of everyone that we provide services for, it exceeds $60 billion.
That's what I'm talking about.
So we did that in.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Look, the journey is fantastic, and I'm sure there were lots of ups and downs. You talked a little bit about some of the downs. Now, um, what is or what were your greatest challenges throughout the whole
My
story?
greatest challenge was getting some rest. You
Okay.
put a lot of hours into a lot of time, and sometimes you're spinning around in circles. So if you're not fresh, if you're not refreshed, then you're just wasting your time. With it, that phrase says time is money.
Yeah.
So for example, let's say I worked 20 hours today, and I was exhausted. And if I was only good for 8 hours, then I wasted my time. I wasted 12 hours out of my time that tomorrow I'm going to have to correct. So one of my challenges was learning when to call it a day and say, I'm just going to start again tomorrow while I'm fresh, and then we're going to keep building. One of the biggest ones, I think, for anyone was another one for me, was learning to ask for help.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
that's a good one.
well, like listening to, like, I follow you and I watch all the motivational things you're doing. I start pulling up on YouTube every morning. Still now, I do it every morning on YouTube. I'm pulling up motivational videos. I want to hear it while I'm taking a shower and I'm shaving, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm listening to other people's experiences, and I'm creating that for myself. I'm like, I can take that part and I can make it better, or I can take this part and I can add it to the pie that I'm baking. So that was one of the biggest challenges, was asking other people for help, because I was like, I want all this to be mine. I want everybody to know it's just me. It's just me. But people do know it's you, but it's okay to ask for help.
Yes, yes, and I don't remember the saying in its entirety, but I know if you want to go far, yeah, yes, I think it's something like that. If you want to go far, you can go yourself, but if you want to go further, you got to take a team with you. So definitely, if you don't have a team with you to go along the journey, well, yeah, you'll be stuck. You'll be stuck.
Absolutely. And I have to say that I have a phenomenal team. Like, I love my team that we have in place. And, I tell them, I was like, listen, without you guys, I could have made six figures. But with you guys, not I, we could grow the company into $1 million company.
That's right. That's
And that's
what's
with
up.
a team.
Yes, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, man. So last time I asked that question with my friend, which is what are or what were your greatest failures? And he told me, no, well, I wouldn't call them greatest failures. He said I would say greatest experiences, because I don't call them failures. So to you, what are or what were your greatest experiences? Not to say failure.
Yeah, and I always say the same thing. I always I tell my team, like, I always say, like, listen, it's like, oh, I messed up, I made a mistake. I was like, no, you didn't make a mistake. We're going to make something better. I don't like them using the word, hey, I made a mistake. I like to say, like, hey, that's why a company is called Solutions. We come up with solutions.
All right.
So some of the ones,
Good.
whew, one time I accidentally emailed my report to the subject's attorney.
Oh snap!
uh, you're talking about, I thought I was going to lose my contract with this particular. Actually, I have a government. One of my clients is a government entity,
Mm-hmm.
and it was with. And I was like, I immediately notified them, but I was so scared, so terrified. I was like, I'm about to lose my government contract, and it's a pretty big contract. So I was like, man, we're going downhill after this. But I got on the phone. I told them immediately. We start, damage control. And from that, I implemented a system. Like, we have a case management system, a software program. I
Okay.
implemented. There are no attachments ever in any emails. In our company, we don't send attachments at all amongst ourselves or to anyone. Everything is uploaded into our system.
Okay.
So if you need something, you can take it out the system or upload it to the system. That way, we don't accidentally send out items like I did. So it was
Oh,
definitely a learning experience.
Great, great. Because yeah, that was gonna be my follow-up question. What did you learn from that experience? But there you go. You just inserted right there and there. So you immediately come up with the solution for something like this to not happen again. Yes, that's awesome. And actually, that's how people grow, right there. Yeah, you were gonna say something. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that, and the other thing, the lesson learned from that wasn't just like changing our policy and procedures. It was also about accountability. You know, it was like at some point I had to contact my client, right? So, but I didn't have forever. So I had to look at myself and say, listen, this is the problem that we have right now. What's going to be the solution? How am I going to let my client know? So I took ownership of the problem, and then I developed a solution. You know, I think that's important. A lot of people don't want to take ownership. They want to say, hey, oh, is this person's fault or that person's fault? It can be 1,000 people's fault. But what are you going to do? When you take ownership for it, then that's when you get solutions.
Exactly. That's powerful. That's very powerful right there. I think that's one of the things that I preach a lot. It's accountability, not only self-discipline, which is one of my favorite principle ever, the key to success, but also accountability. When you have that victim mentality, it's always somebody else's fault. You lose control. You lose power to fix the situation. You know, it all comes to okay, just like you said, even if it was John's fault or Eddie's fault or Maria's fault. Now, if it's your turn, the situation at hand it's in front of you. It's your responsibility to fix it, find a solution. The time that you're gonna spend and say, "Oh, it ain't my fault. It's not me to fix this." Well, that's the time you're losing to getting control and find a solution for the situation so you can move forward. You're
Correct.
just wasting time, man. That's very powerful, man. Very powerful. Um, how about any remorse or regret? Anything that you wish you would have done different or better?
I can't say that there's any remorse or any regrets. And the reason why I say that is that along this journey from my childhood to now, everything has been a stepping stone. You know, they say that one door closed, another door open. I believe in that philosophy. You know, when that next door opens, you have to take that opportunity to walk through that door, or otherwise you're trapped between two doors,
Yes.
right? Trapped there, you don't have anywhere to go. You know, a lot of people become that person. But you said something about moving forward. That's one of my key philosophies is keep moving forward. So if this door closes and this door is open, then I need to keep moving forward. So I don't live with regrets. I live with lessons learned.
Awesome. Yes, yes. That's the mindset. That's the mentality, and that's how winners win. Keep that up, brother. Keep that up. Now, I think that would be our last question. What keeps you grounded?
What keeps me grounded?
Yes.
My two little boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Team Blazing,
They keep
right?
me. Yeah, they keep me grounded because as a father, I realize the impact that I have on them. Whatever I say, whatever I do, I watch them do it. You know, they're my mini investigators. They want to be just like daddy.
Oh man,
So
that's awesome.
personal life affects my professional life. So it keeps me grounded on this side because then with my clients as well, you know, the type of work that we do, it has an impact on people's lives. So I understand about holding people accountable, but I also understand that it's an impact on a person's life. So I have to stay grounded. You can't high five and be like, "Woo! Somebody went to jail today." It impacts somebody's life. You know, it
Yes.
impacts maybe their child or their wife. So you know, I believe that we all people. So understanding that we all people is what keep me grounded, and my definitely my two boys.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, from those few little words that you shared, there are a lot of nuggets, a lot of gems that we can get from. For all of you out there listening or watching, uh, key to success really start with self. Start with the home. Now, if home is not normal, is not okay, is not happy, is not following the flow, everything is not kosher. Don't expect to get that same result out there in the professional world. So be
Absolutely.
sure to have a great harmony at home, like self-care, self-love, communication, understanding. I mean, I could sit there and start citing a lot of things that needs to happen at home first before you even think about, you know what, I need to go out there and make it happen, hit the ground running. No, yes, whatever you feel inside, however you feel inside, it will show on the outside. People will see who you are on how you talk, how you behave, how you dress, how you look. I mean, it's very powerful. Great message there, man. I mean, I don't, whether you think whether you meant to share all that information or not, but that's exactly what I got from it. So I hope the audience got the same thing too. Um, Also, I know you always put out Team Blazing, and your wife and two little boys, they meant the world to you. Also, can you give us your social so we can put it down there for all the audience to look you up, to follow you, and see what your company is about? Uh,
Yeah, on the personal side, you can follow us like on Instagram. I'm out there chasing dreams 215. And in our company, we're out there on Facebook, under EEIS Solutions, and we're constantly trying to give back. It's not just about us; it's about giving back to the community, to others. I wouldn't be here without the impact that others had on my life. So.
Awesome, man. Any last parting words? Any words of wisdom from Chris?
Well, I live my philosophy by this, and I think every two things. One is, again, surround yourself with like-minded people. If you want to be successful, you need to be surrounded by successful people. And the other one the philosophy that I've been living by, continue to live by, is that there's no such thing as perfection. It's okay to be imperfect. All these imperfect things make you a better person when it comes to achieving and being successful. Don't be afraid to find peer mentors. I have several peer mentors, and each one of them gives me a different skill set to help myself continue to move forward. So that's pretty much what I have, and I believe in that hashtag chasing dreams. The chasing dreams thing is, one of my nieces said to me, she's like, Uncle Chris, you should be dream chaser, not chasing dreams. I was like, nah. The reason why I say it is that some people don't understand that there's a lot of dreams out there, right? But you got to run after those dreams, and you got to grab them. And that's the only way to be successful. You can dream a lot, but if you're not chasing those dreams, then those dreams are just sitting right there in front of you. So that's the biggest thing that would, if I could offer anyone to say to someone, that's what I say. Think about that, chasing your dreams.
Awesome words, powerful message. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate your time. Hey, everybody out there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Everybody out there, y'all listening, y'all watching. The word is simple. So whatever it is that you want to pursue, you want to acquire, you want to achieve, go get it. There are a lot of resources. I mean, a lot of resources out there. Like Gary Vee said, Google is your mother. Google is your father. Instead of saying, hey, dad, hey, mom, how can I do this? Go to Google. And of course, find the people that are already successful and reach out to them. Do whatever you have to do to get the information you need, the help you need, the resource that you need, and be very courageous. You have to have that. You got to be hungry as well. Just like Les Brown said, you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. And if you're not hungry, really, you're gonna fall off. You're gonna fall off. Like my man, like my man Chris said, his little boys, keep him grounded. You gotta have a big why as well. A big why. Why you wanna do what you're doing. And without that, there will be no meaning. Don't care about the how, the what. It is the why. Again, thanks again, brother. Appreciate your time.
Long time friendship. So I appreciate. Nope. I'm actually proud of you.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
listen, I'll look at where you're at right now. You're out here motivating the world, not just a person, the world. You know, I remember when we worked in that school of hard knocks. Working in the detention center with juveniles is a school of hard knocks.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know, and you asked me that one question about the military, and you ran with the answer, and I'm looking at where you're at right now. Man. Man, I never pictured you be this successful. Like, not that I didn't think you was going to be successful,
yeah,
but it's amazing to see your transformation. And, you know, I have to say, I'm proud of you. I'm beyond proud of you.
I really, really appreciate it, man. I mean, it means a lot, brother. It means a lot. I had good people to look up to, man. You know, I had some of that help, really good help along the way. I can say that. And I think one of these days I'll put out a video or a podcast saying showing or telling my whole story, how I started and where I am today and where I'm going, because we're going places. We're going places. We're not gonna stop. That's for sure. And we hope that everyone's out there is inspired, empowered to just go do something. Go do something. All right. All right, man. Thanks again, brother. Appreciate it. We could sit down here and talk all day, no problem. But I know you gotta take care of business, and I have another one coming up. So again, thank you, man.
I'm hungry. First business.
Awesome, man. Thanks again. Hey, everybody. Thanks, and like if you like and subscribe if you like the content that we're providing for you, and there's more coming. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section. If you're on the audio, on the podcast audio, send us a message. You know, we'll respond to you. And if you're on YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform, Instagram, whatever it is, just talk to us. We'll talk to you. All right. Thanks again, Chris. You have a great weekend, man. Say hi to the wife for me. All right.
Definitely. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it.